Listen, this video is not about bashing Grant Cardone. Jordan Belfort did that for us.
You don't get far in life by being an asshole. He came in here to be an asshole. He treated my staff like shit. He was rude to people.
On camera.
Everything. Just was rude. He walked in here with just a...
Grant Cardone has actually done a lot of amazing things, not only for himself, but employees and other investors. But here's the deal. Not everything that comes out of Grant Cardone's mouth is true, including Cardone Capital. Okay, so you're probably wondering, who is Kyle Stanley? What is Fearless Flipping? Why is this guy even allowed to talk in the same realm as Grant Cardone? And honestly, guys, I'm not going to pretend like I am that person, that I can go toe-to-toe and heel-to-heel with Grant Cardone. But what I can tell you is that I have experience with Cardone Capital and experience with real estate investing. I myself am a real estate investor, both actively and passively. I'm a current investor with Cardone Capital. I get returns every single month. I hope they don't take them away after I share this video. But what I can also say is that this is not the goal to get you to not invest with Cardone Capital. My goal is to just make you aware of what it truly is and what else is out there. So if you're a Grant Cardone fan, you've probably heard this.
If you have money sitting around, get it invested in the kind of property that I'm buying. I promise you, okay? It's going to be a good thing for you and your family in the future.
You've probably also heard that a single family residence is the worst investment that an American could ever make in this day and age.
A house is a dumb asset for assets. Yeah. A car is a better investment than a house is. I would buy a car before I bought a house.
Really? And of course, Grant also preaches that the most important thing in real estate is the number of doors.
The number of units is the single most important number in all of real estate.
So if all those things are actually true, then the most feasible thing seems to be invest in Cardone Capital. That's what I thought. But if you're watching this video, my goal is to show you why those mottos are actually false.
You're not the right guy for me.
So let's kick this off with Grant's notion of single-family homes. He says they're either 100% occupied or 0% occupied. Is he right? Of course he is. When you have one single family or single person that's either living in a home or not, that is either 0 or 100%. However, in today's age, especially here in California, I would argue it is tougher to find a vacant apartment complex unit than it is to find a vacant home. What I'm saying is it's not that tough to fill a home. People are looking for homes. They're looking for opportunities to be able to rent something out. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist ads, Section 8, it makes it so easy. If your home is not occupied, there's something wrong with you, not wrong with the system. And as long as you do have it occupied, here's the awesome thing. You are earning income in 3 different ways. The first, cash flow. Whatever you're making after expenses, that's your cash flow. That's what's coming into your pocket every single month. The second is the debt equity. The tenant is paying down the debt. That's more money in your pocket. And the third is tax advantages. Every single year that you own an investment property is more money back to you in taxes. But Kyle, what about appreciation? Yeah, you could say that's a 4th way you're getting paid, but here's the deal. I don't speculate when it comes to real estate. I only go off of what I know I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get appreciation, but that is a nice bonus. Okay, I don't know about you, I'm visual, so I want to see the numbers, so I'm going to show you the numbers. Let's assume without appreciation, you buy a house that is $100,000, so you're putting down 20%. That is your down payment for this investment property. Let's say after you instill a property management company, which by the way, Grant says that's impossible to do and still make any money. I beg to differ, just gotta buy in the right area, buy the right deal at the right numbers, and you can cash flow $200 or more a month even after a property management company. That's $2,400 a year of cash flow. You also are getting about, I'm doing a very round number because I don't know the escrow on this, but I do know it's going to be about $200 of equity being paid by the tenant. That's another $2,400 a year. And once again, you get those tax advantages, which I can't really put a number on of how that's going to look, but that is an advantage. Now let's just look 10 years down the road. And once again, I'm considering the fact that this is not going to appreciate. This $100,000 home is going to be worth $100,000 in 10 years, which it probably won't, but that's what we're just going to assume. You've just turned $20,000 into $68,000 in 10 years. That's a 340% growth on your money. That's a crazy good investment. You just more than tripled your money, and you did it in a passive way because you had a property management company, which, by the way, this is exactly what Grant Cardone is saying that you're going to get with Cardone Capital. Now, what I'm not saying is that that is going to be out the door, your definite 100% net gain profit. There's going to be repairs. Let's just assume that you did this deal right, you bought a great house, and that you only have about $1,000 of repairs on average every year. That's 10 grand after 10 years. Okay, so we went from 68,000 down to 58,000. That still is almost a 300% growth of your money, which is 3x your money, which is exactly what Grant is promoting. So it seems like a pretty dang good investment, right? I mean, 300% on your money, whether there's repairs or not, I'm taking that all day long. Here's the deal. Apparently so is Grant, because not only has he gone back on his word, which was that he doesn't believe that a single family home is a good investment. He actually believes that it is, apparently, according to some of his interviews, where he's said, no, what I meant was that it's owner occupied and living in that home, that's a bad investment.
So he's not saying don't buy real estate.
No.
No, that is not.
I own more real estate than everybody watching right now.
Right.
So I own.
Just don't buy where you live.
Don't buy where I live. I don't need to own where I live. What I want to do is I want to own real estate that I can rent to others. I only want to own what pays me every month.
I actually agree with him. I also don't have my own home. I rent out where I own, and then I rent where I live. That's what Grant talks about. And the reason for that, it seems kind of backwards thinking today, especially based on what our parents taught us, which is, you buy a house and you have all this equity built up. Well, yeah, that is true. And if you know 100% for sure that you're going to be able to make it no matter if that home is doing well for you or not, then fine, go ahead and own your own home. But here's what I know is that we live in a world today where tragedy happens, where we lose our jobs, where we get transferred to a different city, a different state. And suddenly, if we're tied to that real estate, especially in a down market, we don't want to sell and lose money. But here's the deal. If you want to make your home, your current home that you live in, an actual investment, and you want to turn it into a profit or have other people paying down your debt, that still is possible. If you're single or if you don't have kids, you should house hack. Airbnb is another great way of mentioning this. You just rent out rooms from your home to either long-term tenants or short-term tenants. I'm sure that if you have that interest, you're going to want to learn more about that. That's not what this video is all about, but I can tell you I've been doing that since 2014, and I have not paid a single dollar on my mortgage because of that. It's a great method. Comment below. I'll answer your questions on that. Grant's next motto is that the most important thing about the real estate deal is the number of units. It's cash flow and return on investment. ROI. I can own 100 doors, but it can be in a crappy area. I raise the rents and everyone leaves. So the most important thing about real estate, therefore, is the RO and the I. And the reason for this is if I can grow my cash flow and keep my ROI in a favorable spot, I can scale this thing big time. I'm gonna prove this right now to you. Take, for example, a home that you put down $50,000 on. Essentially, a normal home would make you a 6 to 10% return on your money. However, because of creative ways that we can innovate and get more money out of our efforts today, Airbnb has solved this issue of small ROIs. Now, let's look at this same deal where you would usually get 6 to 10% and put an Airbnb in place, and essentially you can be cash flowing upwards of $1,000 to $1,500 per month so that you're getting really close to 30% ROI. You're tripling or more your ROI opportunities. That's really good, and that's how we start to scale this and save time. Add in the fact that there's other methods like the BRRRR method or value add methods where essentially you can get properties for little or none of your own money. So again, it's all about increasing the cash flow, increasing the ROI so that you can scale this thing and not be stuck with 100 doors in a bad location. The funny thing is, I really believe that Grant would hear that and agree with that. But at the end of the day, he talks in such absolutes that all of his viewers and listeners think that, well, it's a single family home, so I shouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And that brings me to my last point, and probably the reason you press play on this video and been wondering when in the world is Kyle going to get to Cardone Capital. Listen, Cardone Capital is not a bad investment. That's not what I believe. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that Grant is a really good salesperson. He's a really good marketer. And for all those reasons, he leads you to believe that it is the best investment. It's not even close. Now, some of you are going to watch this, and no matter what I say, you're going to be totally convinced that it is the best investment. And why is that? Well, it's no wonder why. Grant hits on all those pain points. He becomes your best friend. You don't have the time, you don't have the money, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the education. Why would you want to do anything that you don't know anything about? Put your money with me. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'll get you the same return on your money. Sounds great, right? Another thing he says is if you went and tried to find the deal, look for the deal all day long, you'd have to raise the money, and then you'd be lucky to get a 6% return on your money. So why not just guarantee 6% with me here at Cardone Capital? There's so much wrong with that statement. First, and this is through my own personal experience, that 6% that he's guaranteeing is not actually a guarantee, especially if you're a non-accredited investor. Accredited, which is over $100,000 or more invested, which the last time I looked is not a large part of the population, is investing and getting that guaranteed 6%. Me, the unaccredited investor, who, by the way, put in under $100,000 to start out, expecting a 6% return, only got a 4.5% return to start out, and it was told to me at some point that could increase. I don't know about you, but that's much different than the guaranteed 6% that Grant talks about all day long in his videos.
I expect to deliver 6% return to you while you're invested in this deal.
The other part of that statement was that he said you'd be lucky to find a 6% return on your investment for a passive real estate investment. Now, after being in real estate investing for a little bit of time, I can tell you that is also further from the truth. Just with me alone, you can get 8 to 12% or more return on your money completely 100% passive. Wait, sorry, it's not passive. You have to actually take your pen and write a check. Pretty active. Now, I'm not doing this to sell you on this. I'm just showing you that this is actually true and can actually happen for you, right? Maybe even in your backyard or right here with someone that's a lot smaller than Grant Cardone. Notice how I keep saying the word actually as if you're not going to get triple with Grant Cardone. Let me show you what I mean. Grant shockingly leaves out a lot of very specific and fine print details that will cut into your profits immensely. How about 3 different 1% origination fees?
I don't charge setup fees. I don't charge you any fees to come in our fund.
In other words, if you invest $25,000 right away, Cardone Capital is going to take away $750. And oh, by the way, this is just a small number that you might want to consider. When Grant refinances or sells the property and pays you out, he's keeping 35% of the equity owed back to you. 35%, that's a lot. So how does this relate to you? Well, let's take that same example of the $100,000 home that you had when you were doing it on your own with a property management company. Remember, once again, you were getting anywhere between a 300 to 340% return on your money if you bought that deal right. Well, when it comes to Cardone Capital, that same $20,000 that you put down, let's break that down. At 4.5%, your cash flow would only be $75 a month. Compare that to the possible $200 or more that you'd be doing on your own. And by the way, if that property is set up for Airbnb, that $200 or more would be likely $800 to $1,000 or more. I know I keep mentioning Airbnb. Just comment below if you have any interest on that. I'll get to that. I will answer your questions. So let's just say on the other side of it, you have the same amount of equity being built up, $2,400 per year. Okay, now let's do the numbers after 10 years. In our first example, after expenses, our $20,000 turn into at least $58,000. In this case, our $75 per month over 10 years is just $9,000, and our $24,000 of built up equity is great, but oh wait, once again, Grant's taking 35% of that, which leaves us with just under $16,000. So in this case, we are just as passive as scenario number 1 with the single family home, but our $20,000 only turned into $44,000. That's a 223% increase, which is not what Grant promotes. Grant promotes 3x, right? "Oh, Kyle, man, we're gonna appreciate, we're gonna raise the rents, we're gonna pow, yeah, we're gonna do this thing, buddy." Right? That's what Grant would say? Okay, sorry, Grant. I like the accent. Again, I really do want to meet the guy. He seems like a really cool dude. But here's the deal. Appreciation. I've been told by so many different people in real estate, do not assume appreciation. That's what will get you hurt.
I would tell everybody out there right now, this investment will be worth more money 10 years from now.
Now, Grant's deals very well could appreciate. He could look like he's got a crystal ball and he is knowing exactly what these things are going to be worth in 10 years from now. And if he does, he's going to look like a genius. He really is one.
If you're listening to this saying, dude, this guy's a genius. By the way, I am.
So if you've noticed anything, and I hope that you've seen this, I'm not saying Cardone Capital is a bad investment. A 223% return on your money is really stinking good. Is it the best investment though? No, it's not. Is Grant a bad guy? No, he's not. At the end of the day, though, you need to put your money into something that is going to grow it quicker, faster, stronger, and more predictably.
I'm giving you guys an opportunity. I'm giving the little guy the opportunity to invest with me.
So at the end of the day, just don't go off of emotion. Grant hits your pain points. I get it. You get emotionally attached. You think it's the best thing ever. But guess what? There are other great opportunities out here, just like what you've seen from this video. If you want to learn more about any of these investment opportunities, I'm going to suggest a few things, and it's not going to be just directed back to me. You could have someone in your backyard that is a great opportunity for you to get way more on your money, a passive investment, writing a check, and seeing the money come in. Go to meetup groups. Google, in your city, whatever your city you're in, meetup groups for real estate investors. Look for other Facebook groups. There's so many different ways, guys. Just use the Google machine, and that's going to take you exactly to where you need to go right there in your backyard. But if you do want to learn more about how investors are making money with me and how they're doing so more predictably, very passively, and with a great relationship with someone like me, you know what, go ahead and just drop a comment down below and let's talk about other ways that you can invest your money and really conquer real estate investing in a very passive way. Grant, I love you, man. I hope you still love me after this. Don't take away my money at Cardone Capital, but I would love to be able to connect someday. Peace.